So if I speak weirdly in this video then I apologise, but I've got like a massive ulcer here and it is absolutely just scraping against my teeth every time I talk and it's so painful, but yeah, that's why. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here then hello, my name is Emily and today I'm doing a foundation first impressions. So I basically do makeup videos, lifestyle videos and fashion videos, so if that sounds like something you might like then make sure you subscribe down below. Give me a comment on any videos you would like to see. So I'm going to be testing out the new foundation from Makeup Revolution. This is the Conceal and Hydrate formula. As you all know if you've watched my videos before, I'm obsessed with the Conceal and Define. It's probably one of my favourite foundations. It's cruelty free, it's vegan, it's affordable, it comes in 50 different shades and there's a matching concealer. So when I heard that they were coming out with a new one, the hydrating formula, I was very happy because I have dehydrated oily skin, which means my skin is oily but it's only because it's like really dehydrated, like it's really dry skin, but to overcompensate the dryness it creates so much oil, which is a really difficult like skin type to deal with. I thought this foundation might be perfect because I love the coverage and the lasting power and everything about the Conceal and Define, but it's just not quite as hydrating as I would like it to be, so hopefully this foundation is a bit more hydrating, still brings the same coverage, and hopefully I really love it. So the foundation is £9 and it comes in 50 different shades. It comes in this frosted glass bottle, as you can see, and as I said it has 50 different shades, which is amazing. I have F5 and F3 because I ordered F3 thinking, you know, that'd be a good shade for me, forgetting that I'd gone on holiday and I was more tanned. So I was intending on doing this video last week, but it just did not happen because I ordered the wrong shade. This is a Radiance foundation with hyaluronic acid and it's a medium to full coverage, and it comes in this beautiful frosted glass bottle. As you can see it has the rose gold cap, as just the same as the Conceal and Define, but this one actually has a pump, which a lot of people didn't like the doe foot applicator. Personally I loved it, but yeah, they've adapted it because people didn't like the doe foot and they wanted to pump. So to make this like a fair test, I'm going to do half my face with a brush and half my face with a sponge. I usually prefer a sponge to apply most foundations, but sometimes on the very rare occasion I do like a brush, and when I use a brush this is my favourite one. This is the Blank Canvas F20 brush and this is just a sponge from the brand Beaky Blenders, just like a really squishy sponge. So I never really tend to prime my skin. I usually just kind of moisturise it like 20 minutes before I'm about to do my makeup and then do my face. That's just how I tend to go. I don't really use a lot of primers, I just kind of like prime my skin with my moisturiser. So I've just swatched the two. This is F5 and this is F3. As you can see it's quite a liquidy formula, it's a lot more liquidy than the Conceal and Define. If you want me to I can do like a half and half of the Conceal and Define versus the Conceal and Hydrate in a video, but for now I'm just going to test this one. So I think I'm going to go with F5 because that seems like a really good colour for me right now. Like I said, I'm going to use the shade F5 and I'm just going to pump this on my face. And I'm going to start by using my brush just to stipple this into the skin. Well, the coverage is good right off the bat and I think the colour is decent as well. Covered my red spot down here, which is really good. It does look a lot more natural on the skin than the Conceal and Define already. The Conceal and Define is a lot more of like a matte, almost just makeup-y finish than this straight off the bat, but obviously I've not done powder or anything to compare, so we'll see when I've done everything. So far this coverage is actually really nice. So with a brush it looks really nice, it's got a lot of coverage, it's covered up my really red spot down here which I didn't think it would, but it's done a really good job of that. It's just evened out all my skin really nicely, it's a really nice colour. I also have a lot of like dryness around my nose at the moment, so it might cling around there, but I would expect any foundation to cling around there, to be honest. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so as I thought, I definitely prefer it with the sponge. It's got more of like a dewy finish to it than with a brush, but it's actually not clung on the really dry patches. It's not clinging around my mouth as much as with a brush. and it's still managed to cover up this spot that I've got. But yeah, I definitely think I prefer the finish with the sponge than the brush, just because it's not as like clingy and it does look more hydrating. So I'm just opening up the concealer in shade C6. My sister's actually used the concealer in C3 about 3 or 4 times now, because as I said, I've had this for a week, and I've not used it, but she has, and she said she really, really likes it, so it's promising. Still got a really big doe foot, and it looks to be the same colour as C6 in the Conceal and Define. So I'm just going to start under my eyes. And I use a sponge to do my concealer every single time, so I'm not even going to bother with a brush because I never ever use a brush. That's actually a really nice coverage. I would say it's the same level of coverage as the Conceal and Define, but I do think it looks a bit more hydrating. It doesn't seem to be clinging on my dry patches. The Conceal and Define doesn't necessarily cling on my dry patches, but if I'm like super duper dry, then it will. So my first initial thoughts without powdering, I really like the sponge side more than the brush side. I think it looks more natural. It doesn't seem to cling to my dry patches as much. The coverage, I would say definitely medium to full, more gearing on full. It's covered everything I wanted to. It's not clung to any patches. It's slightly clung around my mouth, but as that's sunk in, it's kind of like gone away a bit. It's not gone like funky in between my eyebrows like some foundations. If you do that, it kind of goes funky in between my eyebrows, but it's not done that, which is great. It's not creasing on my forehead, and the concealer is really nice too. It's not creasing or anything, and it's got a nice coverage to it. I'm going to take a really large fluffy brush and just start setting the face with my powder. I'm actually really impressed that it's not clung to this dry patch around my nose, because it's literally like a scabby dry patch, which is a bit gross. But so far, it's powdering really nicely. It looks very smooth. It doesn't look overly like makeup-y, like you know when sometimes you powder and it just goes horribly wrong. It doesn't look overly makeup-y. It's not like clinging to any dry patches. Like I've got a scab here and it's not clinging really badly. I've got scabs over here. It's not clinging really badly. The coverage is great. I would say the concealer looks a kind of like a bit crusty underneath my eyes, but I put a lot of powder on, so we'll wait for that to sink in for a minute. But yeah, like I've got lots of texture on my forehead, around my chin, around my nose, and none of that seems to be accentuated with this foundation or the concealer, which is really, really good. So I've just finished applying the rest of my face, and my bronzer went on smoothly, my highlight went on smoothly, my contour didn't skip or anything like that, and everything just went on as it normally does. It's definitely still nice and smooth. It's not dry feeling, it's not like too dewy. It's not clinging anywhere, and I think this is a really nice foundation. I'm still very impressed that it's not like clinging in all of these scabs that I've got up here, and then I have a lot of texture around here as well, and that's not picking up. I do think it might have oxidized a tiny bit, but nothing like major. But yeah, it's not like sinking into my creases or anything. I genuinely think this is a really, really good foundation, and I'm actually very impressed. I wasn't expecting that I would like it more than my Conceal and Define, but I think I do. I think I like it more than my Conceal and Define. As for the concealer, I don't really see too much of a difference to the Conceal and Define concealer. I'd need to like test them differently, you know, test them side by side, but it's a good concealer. I don't have anything to say about it that's faulty. If you found the Conceal and Define maybe too dry, then you might want to give this a try, but I don't really see much difference personally. But the foundation, I really, really like the foundation. It's very, very smooth on my skin. It's much smoother on my skin than the Conceal and Define was. That was kind of a bit drying, but this one is perfect, honestly. So yeah, if you tried the Conceal and Define and you found that a tiny bit dry but you liked the coverage and all of that, then definitely I would recommend trying this out. And it has a pump if you didn't like the doe foot applicator. But yeah, I would really recommend trying this foundation. It is £9, the concealer is £7, and I think in Superdrug at the moment they're on offer for 2 for 1. or buy 2 get 1 free, something like that. I'd be really interested to see how this works like mixed with the Conceal and Define foundation, just because I'm one of these people, I like mixing my foundations to make like little custom cocktails. So if you would like to see how that works, then definitely let me know down below, because I will mix them together if you want me to mix them together. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have tried this foundation, let me know what you think of it down below. If you've tried the concealer, let me know what you think. Or if you haven't tried it, then let me know if you're going to try it, because I would definitely recommend trying it. It's so much nicer than the Conceal and Define, which I didn't think was going to happen because the Conceal and Define is one of my all-time favourites. So yeah, if you're looking for a new foundation, I would definitely recommend trying this out, because they will probably have your shade. They will probably definitely have your shade. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like, give it a thumbs up, give it a subscribe, give it a comment, all the good things, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!